Hey guys, hopefully this camera's not shaking too bad. I've got you on my phone. Hey, this episode I want to talk about or follow up from my 5,000 mile review of the Jeep. I just went over 15,000 miles and figured it's time for a quick update. So that's what we're going to do. Quick update. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Casey Crawls. Hey, on this episode, what I'm going to do is just give a quick update from our 5,000 mile review. I just went over 15,000 in the Jeep. In the previous video, I talked about some of the modifications that I did. I meant to do kind of an update, 15,000 mile review. Really didn't turn out that way. And so I figured I'd take this opportunity, since I'm sitting here holding the steering wheel for a couple hours, and do a quick update. So stick around, stay tuned, and we'll follow up with some of those things that I said I didn't like when I did my 5,000 mile review. And thanks for watching. See you on the trail. All right, guys, the first thing I wanted to touch on was, if you recall, I've said that as you drive down the road somewhere between 60 and 65 miles an hour, there was a thrumming sound, and you felt it. You really felt it in the steering wheel. Maybe not necessarily a sound, but you know, you kind of felt that thrumming vibration in the steering wheel. Well, I'm happy to say that's gone. So what did I do? Did some research, and I found that a lot of people indicated that was solved by either changing the wheels or the tires. Well, when I did my lift, I decided to go with different wheels, different tires. So I don't know which one did it. It was one of them, but I no longer experience that thrumming in the front end. So that's good news. It was a little bit, little irritating. I don't think it was anything horrible, but it was kind of frustrating. So that problem is solved. All right, guys. The next thing I wanted to touch on, if you recall, I said that the steering was really pretty sloppy, and you kind of had to. You were kind of rocking it back and forth to maintain your lane, a little bit more so than what you would expect in a new vehicle. And I don't know if I've just gotten used to it, or if some of the changes I've made have improved it. I like to think that some of the changes have improved it, because I don't notice that at all anymore. So what did I do? I got Synergy Suspensions offers a track bar and sector shaft brace. I think it was a couple $100, $250 maybe. So I installed that, and I really did notice a difference when I put that in there. And if you look at some of the videos online, you'll see where the gearbox mounts to the frame, and when they turn back and forth, that gearbox flexes on the frame. Well, it doesn't do that when you put this brace on, so I think that helped out. On top of that, when I put the lift kit on, I installed a 2.5 inch Rock Crawler X Factor lift kit. And that came with new track bars, front and rear. And when you hold those track bars with and hold the factory track bars, there's a substantial difference. The new ones are much more stout, and I think that if there was any flex at all, I'm not getting that anymore. So I think that had something to do with it too. So again, I'm happy to say that that whole wondering issue I had and really having to put a lot of input into the steering to keep it in its lane, it's really not an issue anymore. So that's definitely good news, because that was really kind of aggravating and it can get a little dangerous. So good news number 2. All right, the third thing, let's see. The third thing is, the USB. So when I plug my phone in to the USB in the center console, it quits working. What's weird is it continues to charge the phone, but Apple CarPlay stalls, and it just won't work. Sometimes it'll work for a minute or two before it stalls. Other times it'll work for 30 minutes. But at the end of the day, it always quits working. So I thought I was crazy. I tried it in a friend of mine's Jeep, and guess what? Same thing. Now his phone doesn't do that. He can use the armrest, the center console USB plug, and it's fine. But when I plug my phone into it with his cable, it stalls out. I don't know what the issue is. I have seen quite a few people complain about it. So the fix is you've got to use the USB plug that's on the dash next to your window switches. So unfortunately, that problem still exists, and I don't know that there's really a fix. I did have somebody respond to my last video saying that just because a couple hundred people on the internet said they experienced the issue, that it's not an issue. And I guess he was some sort of sales guy for Jeep, and he said he's never heard of that issue. So I did ask that he go talk to a service guy. I've had a number of new cars that I've taken in for warranty work, and oddly enough, I don't ever go to the sales guy for service work. I go to the service guy. So I don't know how he would hear about all these issues. So at any rate, it's still a problem. It pops up in friends' Jeeps. So I think that there's something systemic going on with this whole Uconnect stuff, particularly its interface with Apple CarPlay. So, oh well, still a problem. Okay, let's see. The next thing, fuel mileage. I think I talked about fuel mileage last time. So, I know you don't buy a Jeep for fuel mileage, and I didn't. After I put the lift kit on, and I did go up to a 35-inch tire, my fuel mileage has gotten worse. So I am getting, according to the dash computer, 17.8 miles to the gallon, and I am driving between Houston and San Antonio. I've been on the road for, I don't know, 2.5 hours or so. So I think that's a pretty good indicator. You know, on the highway, I'm running anywhere between 68 and 72. I'm on a little 2-lane right now, and I'm running 65, which I think is a speed limit. And so 17.8 is what I've gotten on this trip. I did reset it when I pulled out this morning. Now, a little bit about fuel mileage. I really don't care what the fuel mileage is. I mean, I'm thankful that it's not, 10 and 12 miles to the gallon. But the fuel tank in this thing is so small. I wish it had a bigger tank, And I wish I could at least get like 350 miles to a tank. That would probably get me through the week commuting to and from work. But it doesn't, so I'm stuck. I'm getting probably 280 to 290 miles to a tank. I really don't let it get down that low, so I'm filling up after about probably 240, 250 miles. Again, my commute is 37 miles one way, so, you know, when I have 40, 50 miles left, I know I'm not going to make it round trip, so I go ahead and fill up for the rest of the week. At any rate, again, I guess it's just a Jeep thing. Fuel mileage sucks. Mine has gotten worse. Is what it is. I think there were 5 things that I talked about in my 5,000 mile review of the Jeep, and you know, I can't remember the 5th thing. I think there were 5. I don't know. So it must not be a big deal, whatever it might be. I'll probably have to go back and look at that video and figure out what it was. At any rate, am I liking the Jeep? Absolutely. Oh, I know what it was. It was the windshield. That's right. As I sit here and stare at my cracked windshield, this thing sets up so it catches rocks. I've got a crack that goes all the way from the A-pillar on the passenger side, and I'm lacking about 4 or 5 inches before it touches the A-pillar on the driver's side. And as I say that, I caught another rock, and there's a rock chip, but it's not started to run. I bought this Jeep in June of 21. The inspection is due in June of 23. So unless this gets really awful, or if I start getting pulled over because that crack is in front of the driver, I don't really plan on putting a new windshield in here until I have to get it inspected, because I have a sneaking suspicion it's going to catch another rock and I'll be putting another windshield in. So the guy at the dealership said, yeah, I recommend the windshield warranty. It's not uncommon to go through 3 or 4 windshields a year. I won't be going through 3 or 4 a year because I'll just wait until inspection time. Yeah, again, I guess it's just the Jeep thing. They catch rocks. So there you have it. Other than that, I really love the Jeep. Really enjoyed driving it. It's not uncomfortable. It's fairly comfortable for me. It's quiet. It's not overly loud. I don't think it's any louder than the BMW that I was in before I bought this thing. So I'm pretty pleased with how it is. You just got to put a few $1,000s in it to fix all those crazy things, and you're good to go. I think that's what most people say. And you really don't see these things stock a whole lot. I think you see more modified Jeeps than you do not modified Jeeps. So I wonder if the Jeep Wrangler is the most modified vehicle sold. I bet you it is. I don't know if it is or not, but I bet it is. At any rate, it's been good so far. I've been changing the oil in it and servicing it about every 5,000 miles. It's time. So I do have the oil at home and a filter. It's fairly cheap, and I love the fact that the engine takes 5 quarts. You just have to buy 1 jug of oil, and I get my filters, 2 or 3 of them at a time, at rockauto.com, and they're fairly cheap because they're the kind that go into the little cartridge, so it's easy. At any rate, there you have it, guys. The 15,000 mile review of my Jeep Wrangler Rubicon. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, all that other good YouTube's stuff. Ring the bell, and I will see you on the trail, guys. Thanks for watching.